I'm just heading off up to Salthouse. I've decided to go and do some filming up there. I want to talk about emptiness, feeling empty. What does that mean to me? And perhaps something that I share with you might touch something in you. Let's go. Do you ever come up against the sense of emptiness that's perhaps sitting underneath all of your other kind of feelings? That right underneath it, maybe you glimpse it sometimes in little moments in between, things get really still, really quiet. Maybe you stop thinking, maybe you even stop feeling. You're not kind of soaked in feelings and thoughts. And there's this kind of quiet, empty, void-like feeling. Do you ever experience that? If you do, then I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I'm going to try and unpack what I think is going on there, and perhaps this might be helpful. I'm setting off to a beach in North Norfolk, a place called Salthouse. It's one of my favourite places to go. It's pretty desolate. It's pretty empty. Seems kind of like the right place to go to talk about this. All right. I'm just taking a stop at a place called Corpus D. There's a church here which I just want to go and have a wander around and have a look at. It's quite beautiful. It's up on a hill. It's very peaceful here. It's very quiet when the cars aren't coming past. And birds. Nice. Let's get going. Here we are on Salthouse Beach. It's unbelievably desolate here. Very empty feeling. I mean, there's people around. It's not like the middle of nowhere, but nonetheless, it's just huge, wide Norfolk skies, as they say, wide sky. They're huge, and it's just, I love it here. I really get to calm down when I come here. It's very peaceful. It's also very bright, the sun. It's beautiful, wide Norfolk sky and a kind of desolate beach. It runs all the way that way towards Cromer and that way heading towards Blakeney. There's always a few people around here, but it's never that busy. Even in the height of summer, people don't come here that much. Usually fishermen. I think what I want to say about this kind of emptiness, I think it depends on what happened to you as an infant, and I think that I was left alone a lot, and that aloneness embeds itself deep down as a base layer of a sense of invisibility, a sense of not really feeling like you're present in the world, like you're not really there. I think that you need somebody near you to fill you up with that sense of self, that sense of belonging, that sense of solidity. And if you don't get that, and some people don't get it, one experiences it as a kind of void. I have the feeling that everyone might have this buried underneath them, but to a lesser or greater degree, because we all experience some kind of abandonment as children, because it's an imperfect world, and that's right. It should be like that. But I think for some of us it was chronic and long. And I've been running from that sense of emptiness my whole life because it's terrifying. It feels like death. And you cram everything on top of it. Alcohol and sex and talking and thinking and doing and striving and wanting to get validation and people to like you and pleasing people and making sure they don't abandon you and on and on and on and on. And it's fucking exhausting. And I've got to a point now where I'm able to kind of starting to be able to sit with that emptiness, and it's not death, it's just very quiet and very still. And the more I get to sit there, the more something else bubbles up. There's a kind of tiny voice or a tiny presence, which is me, my core self, not the false self that I've layered on top to protect, but my core self. As Bradshaw talks about in Healing the Shame That Binds You, your core self, your true self, goes into hiding very quickly if you're shamed and abandoned as a child. It's cowering in the corner and it's very quiet and it's very hard to hear with all of the noise. I've moved towards that silence, that emptiness, and discover that it's not empty. I'm there. And as I sit with that, some truths of who I am and what I value and what I care about are starting to blossom. So I would say really that if you have a similar experience as me, if you find that there are things you're running from, there's a sense of a kind of emptiness or a sense that if you stop and stand still you might vanish, it's the opposite. If you stop and stand still, you might find yourself. But it's scary and it's painful. And it doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to watch this video and go, oh, okay, go sit down and it all appears. I think you also need to find somebody to talk to who will help you slowly peel back the layers of all of your striving, all of the defenses, all of the false self, and you peel it away onion skin by onion skin until sitting in that quiet place becomes possible. That's my thought anyway, that's my thought about it. I'm obviously talking very specifically about my own experience. Some of you will go, nah, what are you talking about? And other people will go, no, that kind of resonates. And this isn't for everybody, I guess. Not everyone, we all see things differently. But that's my take, that's my thought about emptiness. And I think it ties in with mindfulness, it ties in with that stillness that one is aiming for through meditation. And I think that stillness is where creativity springs from.
Okay, thanks very much for listening. I think that's enough. Oh, so beautiful here. Wonderful. And it's just the right temperature as well. I had to take my coat off. It's not really hot, but yeah, beautiful. Thank you.